Now, when it's time to decide about what you should buy, what you should invest in, either you are buying an off-plan project or you are buying a already built, completed house, it can be a bit tricky to decide if you should buy a two-bed house, maybe it's a two-bed flat, it's a two-bed duplex, or to buy a three-bed house. It can be a three-bed flat, a three-bed duplex, or even a three-bed maisonette. Now, in this episode of Meet the Property Guy, we'll be comparing it in terms of investment, in terms of demand, in terms of appreciation, which makes more sense for you to invest in. Is it a two-bed house or a three-bed house? Now, in case you are coming across a video like this for the first time, this is Meet the Property Guy Property channel, and this will discuss everything real estate for first-time investors, avid investors, and people who are just trying to research about the market, try to learn about the opportunities, real estate market, and real estate opportunities here in Lagos and in Nigeria generally. This is your go-to channel. We share tips here, we share guides here on everything you need to know, from risk, from property frauds, property scams, property companies, real estate developers, real estate investment opportunities, talk about the short let, talk about the land banking, talk about the buy and flip. We share everything here. So after watching this particular episode, you've learned a lot, you love the video. You can also go to our different playlists. We have a playlist on land banking, playlist on real estate companies, playlist on short let, playlist on epe, playlist on property investors. So you are definitely going to learn a lot from this playlist, because we have different topics we have done in this playlist. So a two-bed house versus a three-bed house, which should you invest in? So before we go fully into the video, so if you are not subscribed yet to our videos, this is our second video you are watching, this is our fourth video you are watching, this is our fifth video you are watching, and you have not subscribed yet to our videos, we want you to subscribe. We really love you to subscribe so that you don't miss any of the videos, any of our content, any of our topics. We really have so many interesting topics that are still coming, about the rail, about the Fort Mainland Bridge, about different real estate opportunities, and also the different real estate scams that you can avoid so that you don't lose your money. So kindly subscribe, turn on your notification button, so that whenever we are dropping these topics, you are notified and you don't miss any of them. So let's go into the topic now, the two-bed versus three-bed. Now, a duplex can be two-bed. We have a lot of projects that have two-bed selling, Abiance 2.0, Stadel Views 2.0. We have so many projects also that are selling three-bed duplexes in Songotedo, in Ibrahim Adesonya, in Ikate. Even we have three-bed maisonettes around Ikoyi, around Lekki Phase 1, around Oniru, three-bed maisonettes. So it might be a bit tricky and confusing for you to decide if you should buy a two-bed house or if you should buy a three-bed house. Now, depending on your investment objective, you might want to learn some of the tips based on our experience, based on our different feedbacks that we have got from investors, on which one you should buy, if it's a two-bed you should buy, or if it's a three-bed that you should buy. Now, if you are buying a family house, that you are buying a place to stay with your family, you are married, you've got kids, either they are grown-ups or they are still teenagers, or they are still below 10 years old, a two-bed house really is not ideal. And why is because it's easy and very fast for a family to outgrow a two-bed. The moment you have the first kid, your first child, your second child, your third child, the two-bed is not enough again. You guys need to now look for a bigger space and a bigger home. So that's why if you are buying a place as a family home, then three-bed makes more sense. Because if you buy a two-bed, it's very likely that within 5 years or 6 years or even 4 years, you are going to be house hunting again and looking for another house. Now, you can buy a two-bed if you are already at the retirement phase. So all the kids are grown up already, they have finished their tertiary education, some are even married, some are even traveled out, some are even in a different location. Then you can go for a two-bed, because at that period, just you and your spouse, or you and the mates. But if you are still like a growing family or a starting family, then a two-bed might not really be ideal, because at some point you are going to outgrow that two-bed. Now, if you are buying for investment, a two-bed makes a lot of sense, if your objective is cash flow. There's a higher rental demand for 2 beds than 3 beds. So if you have a 2 bed in a particular location, a lot of people will be interested to rent that 2 bed than to rent a 3 bed. One of the reasons is because the 2 bed is more affordable, and because everyone still dreams to have their own personal home, so they might be much reluctant to live in a 3 bed for rent than to live in a 2 bed for rent. So for rental demand, for short let, a 2 bed makes a lot of sense. A 2 bed duplex, you can also use it for short let, and a 2 bed duplex, you can also rent it out. So that means if you want to buy a duplex, if your objective is to rent it out, you can buy a two bed. If your objective is to live there, you can buy a 3 bed. Now, if your objective for investing is to buy and flip, which means that to buy, maybe buy on off plan, wait for a couple of months, the project is delivered, and then sell, turnover, and move on to another project, then buying a 3 bed makes more sense than buying a 2 bed, because 3 bed has faster appreciation. You understand? And a lot of people will want to buy a 2 bed when there is no 3 bed available. So maybe you want to invest in Stadel Views, want to invest in Ambiance 2.0, you want to invest in any of the off-plan projects, and you're looking at the 2 bed, you're looking at the 3 bed, 2 bed, 3 bed. If your objective is to buy and resell, then invest in the 3 bed, because it's going to have more appreciation rates. And as long as there is a 3 bed in the market, a lot of people will want to take a 3 bed instead of a 2 bed. But if you are investing in that project to rent it out or to do short lets, then you can do a 2 bed instead of 3 bed. So to stay, 3 bed. To buy and flip, 3 bed. But if your objective is cash flow, then 2 bed. And also, if you are at the retirement phase of your life and just want a family home, maybe just for you and your spouse and the maid, then a 2 bed or a 2 bed with BQ also makes a lot of sense. Now, in terms of returns also, 3 bed is more of long term, while 2 bed is more of short term. So which means that you can be a growing family, you just have your first child, you can buy a 2 bed house, because the objective is that you just want to stay in this house for like maybe 3 years or 4 years. Then we move to a 3 bed and then rent this 2 bed house for cash flow. So you can see that way now a 2 bed is for short term. So it's just a stopgap in investment, pending when you can afford a bigger house. So short term. Now, for a lot of people that are also renting your apartment for 2 bed, a lot of people will also be renting for short term. They just want to stay in your house for maybe 3 years, 2 years, 4 years, and the moment their family have also outgrown that 2 bed, they move on. But for a lot of people that will be staying in your apartment for 3 beds, that are going to be there for more than long term. So some people can be in your 3 bed for 5 years, for 6 years, for 7 years, because the apartments will still serve their family size for a longer period of time. And also, if you buy a 3 bed for yourself, for your family, you guys can stay there for 10 years, for 15 years without even changing or buying another house, because a 3 bed, particularly a 3 bed with BQ, will still serve most of your family needs. So 2 beds for short term, 3 beds for long term. So with these different tips, I hope we've been able to advise and we've been able to be of help to you to guide your investment decision and investment choices between choosing if you should buy a 2 bed house, a 2 bed flat, a 2 bed duplex, or a 3 bed house, a 3 bed flat, and a 3 bed duplex. Now, if you are buying a bungalow, personally, I believe that bungalows on 2 beds is really is like a waste of land, because most times if you build a bungalow or you buy a bungalow 2 bed and your family that moved there after like 5 years or after 6 years, then your family have outgrown that 2 bed. In some estates, they are not going to allow you to maybe extend the house. So all you have to do is sell the house and move to another house. So that's why if it's a bungalow that you want to buy, particularly if you are not building, you are buying, then try to excuse yourself and buy a 3 bed, particularly if it's a place that you want to stay. If it's a place that you want to stay and you're going to buy a 2-bed, you are likely going to sell that house in the future when your family are about growing it. Now, if you're also building, want to build a bungalow, if it's a 2-bed that you can afford for a start, try to build the house in a way that can be extendable, so that as your family start growing more, you can also add more rooms to the house, and the house are still going to serve you. So not like you go and build a 2-bedroom bungalow there and the entire 2-bedroom bungalow occupy the entire land. No, build the house in a way that you can extend it to add another bedroom or 2 other bedrooms, or add a room self, or add another one flat at the back or at the front, so that it's still going to serve your family needs for a longer time. Do you understand? So these are our options, these are our advices. So if you have any questions regarding this, also you can drop a comment here. If you feel you love this video, you love the topic, you love different tips that you have shared here, don't forget to give us a thumb like. And if you have been watching our videos, you'll be learning from our videos. 1, 3, 4, 5, 10 videos you have been watching and you have not subscribed yet, I would really appreciate it if you subscribe. This is also one of the ways that you can support us. So if you have any property that you want to invest in any location at all, yeah, in Lagos, in outside Lagos, I'm not really so much familiar with Abuja, but I might still give some tips that I can give. And I also have some properties in Abuja that I'm selling too. So if it's outside Lagos too, we might be able to advise you based on the location that you want to invest. Is a 2-bed, is a 3-bed, is a 4-bed, is a 5-bed. We can advise you on what you can use that investment for, and how you can also make returns on that investment. So I think your mom property on your planet, your property advisor, property consultant, Rabi Mustafa. Thanks once again for watching our videos. Thanks once again for the support, the encouragement, and see you next time.